Media is considered one of the fundamental pillars of democracy in most countries. It is expected to keep people informed, encourage open discussion, and act as a check on those who hold power. In India, however, the media has largely failed to fulfill this role in any meaningful way. Before independence, the standards were noticeably different. Mahatma Gandhi used newspapers as a powerful tool even while he was in prison, using them to spread his ideas and connect with the public. This showed how important the press could be as the fourth pillar of democracy. If the current commercial media system had existed during that time, it is quite possible that it would have come under British control and ended up promoting the supposed advantages of the East India Company instead of challenging colonial rule. India currently stands at 157th position out of 180 countries when it comes to media freedom rankings. What is even more surprising is that countries like Afghanistan, which continue to face serious law and order problems, still rank higher than India on this list. Journalists are expected to report facts without mixing in their personal opinions. Their responsibility is to present all the available information so that the public can examine it themselves and form their own conclusions. The real difficulty arises when these events are interpreted and presented, because that interpretation shapes how people understand issues and influences the policies that governments eventually make. Since journalists control the flow of this information, they hold significant power. This makes it essential for them to think carefully before speaking, because their words can directly affect public opinion and government decisions. There is a widespread belief that when people enter the voting booth, they are making completely independent choices based on their own knowledge. In reality, that knowledge is often shaped by sustained media campaigns. Even when voters feel they are exercising free will, their decisions are frequently influenced by carefully constructed narratives. Despite this, many continue to believe they have made their choices freely. Most debates on Indian television channels focus heavily on Pakistan, political rivalries, and attacks on the opposition. Important issues such as unemployment and national security receive very little serious attention and are often pushed aside. This selective coverage shows that channels prioritize topics that create drama and attract viewers, rather than those that genuinely matter to the public. Media platforms need to expand their focus and hold proper discussions on a wider range of national issues. Real journalism requires serious effort. It involves detailed reporting and proper ground level investigation. Instead of following this path, many anchors have moved toward dramatic presentation and performance. They behave more like actors than journalists, relying on theatrical delivery rather than depth of knowledge. These debates often feature guests who are chosen mainly because they shout and create controversy, rather than because they bring expertise or evidence. This approach has damaged the basic purpose of journalism, which should be based on informed discussion and proper analysis. Many people complain that Indian media has lost its integrity and accuse it of being compromised. If this is true, it simply means there are buyers who are willing to pay for favorable coverage. Media ownership has become highly concentrated. A small group of powerful interests now controls large parts of the media landscape, either directly or indirectly, and can push specific agendas across multiple platforms. Setting up and running a national news channel requires heavy investment. The cost of establishing operations usually ranges between 80 to 100 crore rupees. On top of this, another 30 to 50 crore rupees are needed for distribution so that the channel reaches viewers across the country. There are also continuous expenses for production, studio infrastructure, technology, and staff salaries. Journalists and reporting teams incur additional costs while traveling and covering stories both inside and outside India. News channels generate revenue mainly through two sources: subscriptions and advertising. Income from subscriptions is relatively small, often contributing only 1 to 3 rupees per viewer. The majority of revenue, around 75%, comes from advertisements. Because channels depend so heavily on advertising income, they face constant pressure to avoid upsetting major advertisers or the government. This commercial reality has pushed many channels to adopt a cautious or supportive approach toward those in power. During the 2019 general elections, more than 25,000 crore rupees was spent on political advertising and social media campaigns. The government itself became one of the largest spenders in this space. Like any business, news channels understand that criticizing their biggest clients can lead to loss of revenue. Corporate houses also tend to stay away from channels that take an adversarial position against the government, fearing it could affect their own interests and policies. This has led many channels to reduce or drop critical coverage of the ruling dispensation while competition for viewership remains intense. The fight for higher TRP ratings forces channels to balance commercial needs with whatever remains of editorial independence. The spread of fake news has changed the usual pattern in India. In many other countries, mainstream media usually acts as a check against false information spreading on social media. In India, the situation is reversed. Mainstream channels sometimes become the source of sensational or misleading stories, which are later questioned or corrected by people on social media platforms. Earlier, newspapers would first gather facts and then publish them. Today, many outlets decide the desired narrative first and then select or shape facts to support it. At the same time, media houses have gained significant influence over political matters. Where political parties once controlled their own messaging, large media groups now play an active role in shaping public opinion and political debate. One of the biggest problems facing Indian media is the lack of proper independent oversight. Successive governments have deliberately avoided creating strong regulatory mechanisms rather than simply failing to do so. There is no independent regulatory commission to monitor media practices. Instead, the News Broadcasting Association, which was created by the news channels themselves, is responsible for oversight. This means the same industry that needs to be regulated is effectively regulating itself. When complaints are made against any channel or journalist, the process ultimately returns to people within the same industry. This arrangement is similar to asking the fox to guard the henhouse. It creates an illusion of accountability while ensuring that real action is rarely taken. Many people hope that a change in government will automatically fix these problems. This is wishful thinking. Whether it is the previous government, the current one, or any future administration, the basic approach toward managing and influencing the media remains largely the same. Governments across different political parties tend to exert pressure on media in similar ways. The core issues are structural and will not disappear simply by changing the party in power. Without genuine reforms in ownership patterns, advertising dependence, and independent regulation, these problems are likely to continue.